With that being said, you big dummies, you getting paid now.
Right.
Everybody now has an opportunity to pull up their...
Over the past year, Cheryl has repeatedly targeted Caitlin Clark with bizarre accusations, claiming she's a 25-year-old playing against teenagers, insisting her rookie season was a disappointment, and even suggesting that no one wants to team up with her. The attacks felt endless, almost like a campaign that refused to die.
Years, they will recognize, her game, but they won't recognize her impact.
Right.
How can you separate the two? It's kind of hard, right?
And I used, Jax, you're absolutely right. And I was like, come on.
The legendary basketball icon and former coach connected to Clark, Cheryl Miller stepped in and dismantled every false narrative, blasting swoops and delivering a knockout moment to the All the Smoke podcast. With Miller swooping in to defend Caitlin Clark and hinting at something intriguing about the Indiana Fever's future, fans are fired up. Ready for this? Let's go.
Year, two-time national championship, two-time tournament MVP, first woman to dunk in an organized game, gold medalist. Thank you for making time. Welcome to the show, Cheryl Miller.
Before we break down everything Miller said, have you ever stopped to wonder why one of the greatest players in basketball history seems so intent on tearing down the WNBA's brightest rising star? Let's take a closer look at the strange campaign Cheryl Swoops has been pushing against Caitlin Clark, from her college years all the way through her rookie season.
About how much more experience that gives you over other players coming in, right? So people say, dang, like he or she's killing them, but you have a 25-year-old playing against a...
It began when Swoops made widely inaccurate claims about Clark's college career. She suggested that Clark was a 25-year-old competing against 20-year-olds at Iowa, easily one of her most baffling accusations. In reality, Clark was a typical college senior, 22 years old and in her fourth season. When pressed about the misinformation, Swoops walked it back, saying she had merely been exaggerating because of COVID eligibility rules. The explanation didn't hold up, and the criticism only grew.
Takes about 40 shots a game.
Carry on.
I know you like that.
Hell yeah.
I said that because when she comes to the league, regardless of what team she goes to that has vets on that team, she probably ain't gonna get 40.
But Swoops was only getting warmed up. She went on to claim that Clark was a selfish volume shooter who fired up 40 shots a game, a statement nowhere close to reality. Clark actually averaged 22.7 attempts per contest. The irony? Swoops herself averaged 19.2 shots during her own senior season, barely 3 fewer than Clark. Talk about throwing stones from a glass house. Then, as Clark closed in on the all-time NCAA scoring record, Swoops shifted her angle again, suggesting Clark would need a 5th year to break it.
Caitlin, if you're going to break a record, to me, if it's legitimate, you have to break that record in the same amount of time that player set it.
Okay.
Right? So if Kelsey Plum set that record in 4 years, well, Caitlin should have broke that record in 4 years. But because there's a COVID year, and then there's another year, you know what I mean? So she's already had an extra year to break that record. So is it truly...
This, too, was entirely inaccurate. Swoops confidently predicted that Clark wouldn't make an impact in the WNBA, ignoring the reality that Clark could have taken a 5th year of college eligibility but chose not to. Instead, she entered the league and immediately began breaking rookie assist records while emerging as one of the WNBA's top playmakers. The numbers spoke for themselves. Clark finished her debut season averaging 19.2 points and a league-leading 8.4 assists per game, shutting down critics and earning Rookie of the Year honors.
Wouldn't be good. What I said was I didn't think Caitlin or Angel would come into the league and dominate immediately, which I don't think either of them did.
Respectfully, there is absolutely no way, even when we're trying to sit here and play semantics about dominating, there's no way that anyone could ever leave this season in saying that both Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese didn't dominate. You would have to further explain what dominance means for you to not sit here and say that a player who is leading the league in assists while averaging 19 to 20 points didn't dominate.
When Swoop appeared on Angel Reese's podcast, she kept taking subtle shots at Clark while insisting she didn't dislike her. It became one of the clearest examples of someone saying one thing but acting in a completely different way.
When she was in college, I helped do her shoe deal with Nike in 1993, took her to her first SBs. I've known Cheryl, I've coached her, have a lot of respect for her. I called her when Caitlin was still playing at Iowa, and she had just broken Maravich's record. And it was all over the place, as you and I have discussed, that, there was this quote by Cheryl that said, Caitlin was, 25 years old. She was, however old, 24 years old. She was a fifth-year senior.
Right.
She was taking 40 shots a game. Her records were...
Swoops was eventually removed from broadcasting a Fever game after the basketball community caught on to this pattern. Stepping in for her was Nancy Lieberman, who wasn't afraid to call out the false narratives being pushed about the rookie star.
And I called her as a friend, and I said, you can say whatever you want. You can have your own opinion about anybody, but you do have to get the statistics right. I mean, facts matter. And if you just get ahead of this and just say, hey, I made a mistake on my numbers, then this thing is over and everybody respects you for your opinion. And, you might like Boston. I might like the Yankees. It's okay to have difference of opinions. Well, she got upset with me on the phone, and I was like, Cheryl, I'm not doing anything to hurt you. I'm just sharing. We're talking. And so our relationship, it pretty much is not happening at this point. I tried to talk to her at the Final Four. Right. She didn't want to talk to me. My life's going to be good or great with or without.
The basketball community finally got a credible voice in the Caitlin Clark conversation when Cheryl Miller stepped into the All the Smoke podcast studio and completely shut down the critics. When a true basketball legend, someone who has actually coached Clark, decides she's done with the nonsense, what happens? You get one of the most genuine and powerful defenses women's basketball has seen.
Right. And I was like, come on, you big dummies. Is she getting hyped? Yes. But she was in the backyard. She was putting in the same time, sometimes maybe more than you were.
Right.
I can't fault her for what.
The uncomfortable truth is that Clark's critics won't admit that her presence has boosted the entire league, including their own paychecks.
I mean, look, as much as she was given, you can't tell me if that door would have swung the other way where she didn't live up to the hype.
Right.
Come on, folks are still waiting for her to fall.
Exactly.
Come on.
Yep.
So, with that being said, you big dummies, you getting paid.
After coaching Clark in the 2025 WNBA All-Star Game, Miller had a front row seat to evaluate her beyond the highlight reels, and even she was surprised by what she saw. That's exactly why Miller's defense carries so much weight.
Game. You spent some time with Caitlin Clark.
Best coaching job ever.
Best coaching job
Best
ever.
coaching job ever.
Being around Caitlin Clark, how was the experience for her? She's such a big star. I mean, the sky's the limit for her. To be around her, just talk about the type of person she is and how much she loves the game.
I'm going to be honest because it needs to be said. I can relate to that young lady, and I felt for her.
Mm-hmm.
I know what it's like to be hated. I know what it's like to be a black woman and hated because of my color.
I was happy and gratified to learn that.
Learning the truth left Miller relieved and satisfied, but she didn't stop there. She went on to offer a unique perspective on what truly sets Clark apart, cutting through months of media-driven narratives with a single, sharp observation.
Imagine this young lady, I don't want to use hate, but despised.
Mm-hmm.
And people just having, she brought some on herself a little bit because she's cocky for a good reason.
Mm-hmm. Confident.
And I love that about her. But to watch the dynamics and the media, they had their narrative.
Mm-hmm.
And I was pleased and proud to see the narrative wasn't.
Miller's detailed, almost scientific breakdown of Clark's game actually revealed something much deeper. A real emotional connection formed during Clark's toughest moments. When the Fever finally secured their first win of the 2025 season, Miller didn't just congratulate her. She gave Clark the unwavering support she needed most as a rookie.
I didn't know how talented she was and how well she sees the game in a 3D version. Thinker. Defensively, a lot better than I thought and gave her credit for. So watching her and just spending a little time. And one thing, guys, that I've learned is to step back and let these kids be.
When Miller and Clark hugged after Indiana's first win, it was more than a casual post-game exchange. It was a moment that revealed just how alone Clark had felt amid the non-stop criticism surrounding her league debut. Miller recalled the emotion of that encounter, saying, "Oh man, finally someone who's on my side." When Clark saw her, "I gave her the biggest hug I could. Everything was coming at her from every direction."
everything left and right. And I just said, I hugged her. I said, I'm so proud of you. I go, savor this. Use this as a formula. I said, but keep being you. I said,
In that vulnerable moment, Miller offered guidance that could only come from someone who had walked the same path, not empty cliches, but real wisdom. For a rookie overwhelmed by pressure and criticism, her words were a lifeline. You have my utmost admiration. Enjoy this. Use it as a blueprint, but never stop being who you are.
that she's wearing right now.
Right.
And it wasn't something that she anointed herself. It's something that's been placed on her head. And I hope people understand that. But it's every.
When Cheryl Miller speaks, the basketball world pays attention, and for good reason. Her voice carries the weight of an extraordinary career, 2 national championships, an Olympic gold medal, 3 Naismith Player of the Year awards, and a place in the Basketball Hall of Fame. But Miller's support for Clark goes deeper than resume or hype. She sees something many critics overlook. Clark isn't just a scorer, her elite court vision makes her a complete playmaker. Let us know in the comments how excited you are. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on all notifications so you never miss an update. See you in the next one.